Down Adversity to Strength, I'm joined by Julia Tomoyasu Silveira, a licensed clinical social worker and psychotherapist whose work sits at the intersection of science, identity, and trauma-informed care. Julia's path into mental health is uniquely multidisciplinary. Before becoming a therapist, she trained as a pharmacologist, conducting biomedical and clinical research of institutions including Pfizer, the NIH, and the Weill Cornell Medical College. That deep scientific foundation now informs her psychotherapy work, helping clients understand not just what they feel, but why their bodies and minds respond the way they do. As the founder of the Little Satori Psychotherapy in New Haven, who works with individuals, couples, and families with a particular focus on immigrant, bicultural, and mixed race experiences. Being Japanese and Brazilian, fluent in both Japanese and Portuguese, Julia brings lived experience to conversations about identity, belonging, and navigating multiple cultures, both inside and outside the therapy room. In today's conversation, we'll be talking openly about what it was like growing up between cultures, the impact of mixed race identity on mental health, how trauma, neurobiology, and self-acceptance intersect in the healing process. Julia, it's great to have you on a podcast. Thanks for taking the
Thank
time
you
out
so much.
today.
A nice introduction. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
I'm glad you like.
Yes. Those are all true. I think I do come from a science background. I'm not sure if I'm a pharmacologist. I did research, a lot of research in science, but I think more I know about science, I realize how much I don't know. And that's the same with
Definitely.
psychology. And that's the same about racism and belonging. So, yeah.
It's an interesting combination that you've got there. There's so much that's gone on in your life. Take us back to the beginning of your journey. Where did everything start for you? I'm guessing probably from almost day one then.
Yeah, so my parents met in Japan. My dad was doing his PhD in Hiroshima University, and my parents fell in love, and I was born in Japan. And then, like, we went kind of back and forth between Brazil and Japan. So my brother was born in Brazil, and then my parents got divorced when I was 7, and we went back to Japan. And then I couldn't speak any Japanese then, but it was kind of weird because my mom would speak to me in Japanese and I would like respond in Portuguese. And then my dad would speak to me in Portuguese when I was in like everywhere. And then I would not sure what I would respond in, but then my parents would speak to each other in English. So it was like a very mixed place. So yeah, with my parents' divorce, I went from Brazil to Japan, and that was like a really big change because I come from a very small town in Hiroshima. It's not even where the bomb was dropped. Like it's an hour and a half away. So it's
Oh,
like middle of the mountain. It's near Hiroshima airport. So and my grandfather was a doctor and my uncle was a doctor, my mom's a dentist. So we come from like a medical family and like everybody knew our little family in a little town. So people did respect our family a lot. So people didn't talk down on me, but I was always kind of different. Because, so for example, in Japan, you have to wear white shoes to school, I think, yeah. And
yeah.
you have to wear like this leather bag called randoseru, which is like super heavy. And I didn't understand the point of it. So I wore just like a pink backpack to school. And that in itself was already different. And my dad would get us sneakers or Nike that are white, but not Japanese sneakers. So it'll be like, we're always different. And then, yeah. And then my mom thought I should go to private school where more privileged people are so they would be more understanding of race, which like I think it didn't really happen because in Japan, people treat you respectfully, but they tell you like, okay, I respect you, but you don't belong here. You're not Japanese.
How do they word that in a nice way?
What?
It's usually one or the other, not both, all in one sentence.
No, I respect you as long as you know where your home is, kind of thing. This is not your home. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's very odd in that way that you like. So in order for me to fit in, I had in mind that I had to just read a lot of Japanese literature because
Right.
that's Japanese culture.
Yeah.
And I read all the classic novels in Japanese, and I had the best grades in school because they post the rankings. Every exam, they post the ranking, and I was at the top. And then Not always at the top, but like at the top 5. And um, like I still didn't get recognized as Japanese. So like once there was an exam where you had to write an essay based on a poem that you read. And then the teacher was like, this person got the best grade. And then everybody's like, oh, it's probably me, probably me. And I was like, I don't know who it is, but and it was me. And no one thought it would be me.
Because they're basing it on race, not intelligence or how hard you worked.
I think it's because I see Japan in a different way than a Japanese person would. I question things when it's a tradition. Like, I'm not sure if you always have to follow tradition because, like, that's not how I was brought up, maybe. I think it's like, you have to follow a lot of rules, like, all the time in Japan. Like, you can't wear earrings, you can't do this. Like, it's like,
I mean, you're sort of taught really should be to question everything. So there's a lot of conformity. And obviously, if you go back in the day in Japan, there was a lot of conformity where there was no questions. Literally, you just have to be a part of like the society there. So is that still kind of the same mentality now, but not as extreme as what it was?
think it's not as extreme, and I love Japan. There's nothing like I love, love, love Japan. It's just
Everyone does, but there's,
yeah, and we love Japan. The food is amazing. Like I cook
yeah.
Japanese food all the time. Like I love Japan. It's just that like if you're there's a saying in Japan like "tatsukugi wa utareru." Like you see like when there's like a lot of nails, if you see an odd one out, we're gonna put that one down.
Is it more like society than individuality there? Everyone's sort of like similar
Like, it's about harmony. S-
harmony.
So I think the good example is like during COVID, for example, people didn't have to be told to wear masks in Japan because everybody was wearing the mask. And if you didn't, you'd be like an outsider and you feel maybe ashamed. So it's a culture of shame. And we say there's a culture of shame in Japan. And in the US is a culture of guilt, maybe Catholic guilt, something like that. I'm not too familiar. I'm more Buddhist
Sure.
than that. But like,
Yeah.
it's like you have to belong, to harmonize. Harmony is very important. And I think that's also the beautiful part of Japan because, like, if you come to my house, I'm going to predict what you're going to think and I'm going to do all that for you.
Yeah.
That's almost it. That's why like people love the Japanese Olympics because like it's very welcoming. Like they think ahead about how to do things for the other person. So like you pick up the trash, like you make sure that the trash is all sorted out. Like you don't see any trash in Japan. Like
No. Yeah. But
it's
people I've
very
spoken
permanent.
to, wherever they go, it's just like so tidy. There's no rubbish anywhere. And I've seen it with like the Japanese national football team. They've gone into the changing room, an away ground. They've played a match, and you see a picture after, and it's just immaculate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
Rubbish
cool.
to be everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. It's impressive.
But I think, like, let's say Japan is still welcoming and didn't say, like, you're not Japanese, so in Japan we don't do it this way. Like, just being the odd one out is hard for a person.
Yeah. When did you realize that you were the odd one out? I'm kind of guessing when you were at school.
Yeah, I think when my eyebrows and I'm hairy compared to
Right.
Japanese people,
Right. Right.
and like it's not just like one place that I can shave. Everywhere I have more hair compared to a regular Japanese person.
Sure. And did you ever have this conversation with like your parents going, I don't seem to belong here, and ask them to kind of explain things to you a bit more?
Yeah, my mom was like, "You, I think they're jealous of you," which is also true because Japanese people love like white culture, Western culture,
Right. Right.
so
So,
they
so
like that. They are jealous too. From
how was it like forming friendships at school? How was that? Easy or was it difficult?
I think it was difficult, but you form. I think the mistake that I made is that assuming that everybody's racist, assuming that I don't belong, assuming that people are just kicking me out because you form relationships based on one on one.
Yeah.
And Like once I realized that, it became easy because people liked me because I'm Julia, not because I'm
Of
mixed race.
course. Yeah.
And I think like once I started not like just being myself more, not because I'm Brazilian, not because I'm mixed or Japanese or I like reading classic novels that like everybody want to kill themselves at the end. Like I like reading Japanese novels that are just kind of sensitive and very seasonal and like very sophisticated because I do. And I think like that's what helped me form friendships. Like I think so until sixth grade, I was like, I don't belong here, I don't belong here, I don't belong here. So I just stayed inside and I didn't really make friends. And then junior high school, like middle school, I had that mentality like I don't belong here anyway. It's just like, all right, screw this. And then once I realized like, oh, like they need to like me for me. And they did. I still have friends from middle school. Like
Yeah.
still now.
When you realised that they just liked you for you and probably couldn't care less about your ethnicity, did that change things for you? Did you then think, well, if they're like that, there's going to be other people out there in the world that's going to be the same as them? They can care less. They just like me for me.
Yeah, I think what really changed for me was going to Brazil.
Yeah. What happened there then? Because how old were you when you went to
I
Brazil?
was 15 and
15.
I was like the outside and I was just looking up like now half of the population, 45% of the population of Brazil is mixed. So I was like the odd one out, but somehow I was like hot one out. Like I was like I had boys. Like I had like it was during that phase in your life, right? Like like boys wanted to talk to me suddenly. Like going from Japan to Brazil, like just one flight. And I was like, wow, like I really belong and I have it going on. So I think like in Japan, I was like kind of realizing like it's a one-on-one relationship. But in Brazil, I realized like people want me, like not just boys wise, but like friends wise and stuff too. But in Brazil, I had another challenge where I had to like learn Portuguese. I
Yeah.
mean, I
Not
knew
the
Portuguese.
easiest.
I went
Yeah.
to international school there, but like I remember calling my mom and I was like, "Mom, like I have a geography test tomorrow and I only know like 3 cities in Brazil. I know São Paulo, Rio, and Porto Alegre, that's all."
Yeah.
So my mom was like, "Good luck." And she hung up the phone. And so I had to learn English and Portuguese at the same time, like but I knew how to speak Portuguese, but it's different from like writing. I think that was really like going to Brazil was really fun for me. Brazil is a fun country.
Yeah. Whereabouts were you staying in Brazil then?
In Porto Alegre with my grandparents.
You were
Yeah,
there year for a year.
1 year. I went to an international school and it's like a very small school. I had like 5 classmates and we'll go like learn how to dance like after school so we can go out at night and like learn to dance like a Brazilian. And I was like, okay, like and in Japan, like I didn't know how to dance. So it was like,
How
yeah.
did you find the difference in cultures then? And how were you trying to figure things out for yourself then? Because you've it's one extreme to the other there.
My dad was always around, and I always saw my stepmom and my dad, and every summer vacation and winter vacation I spent with my dad. So my parents had a very amicable divorce, and it's very great that they did that because in Japan, that's not the norm. In Japan, when people get divorced, now there's like they're doing some changes in the law, but some dads like don't cut contact with the kids or the mom just doesn't let the kid have contact with the dad. Like it's just very cut off like that. But my parents always got along, like in that sense. Like they always were on the same page.
That's great. It makes such a difference to child's life. It makes all of the difference, as you know.
Yeah, yeah. And like my mom is a dentist and she still sees patients from Brazil speaking Portuguese.
That's great. And
So
how did you feel after your year in Brazil and then moving back to Japan?
I moved to the US. I don't know. Yeah, when I was 16 and that was a big shift for me because
Yeah.
um I don't know if you heard of Scarso.
Yeah, Scarsdale. Yeah, of course.
What have you heard about Scarsdale?
Scarsdale. I think it might have been in Ray Donovan, the TV series,
Yeah.
Scarsdale.
So I thought when I first moved to the US, everybody in the US were Jewish.
Right.
Because I was like, okay, like every Jewish holiday. So I was like, oh, it's Jewish. And that wasn't cool anymore. Like I wasn't
No.
getting all the attention. So I was like, okay, this is so everybody was wearing like juicy clothes and stuff. And I was going for like the indigenous look. I don't know, like wearing bamboo earrings and stuff. Like I was like different. But I found a Brazilian friend at the school, which is like a really great thing about the US.
Yeah, of course.
Always find I had like a Japanese boyfriend for 3 months in the beginning that dumped me, but that was like just for 3 months. I had a great time with him.
Yeah.
And then I had a Brazilian friend and we had a little thing going on.
How did you find settling in the US then? I'm assuming easier than Japan because in America you got.
Like I couldn't speak English. So I couldn't speak
Oh,
English.
right.
So I was just learning English and like I didn't understand what was going on except for chemistry and math. So that's why I was like drawing stuff like chemistry and yeah. So yeah, I think that was really difficult. But I mean, I think yeah, Scarsdale was is really I mean, I'm very privileged, I have to say though. That's like one of the best education you can get in the US, like Scarsdale.
Yeah. It's a good area. Even I know that in the UK.
Yeah, so, like, what's there to complain in a way? I think, had the best version of migrating to America.
Yeah. Yeah, that does help. That does help.
Yeah.
And where were you at the time with feeling like belonging somewhere or not belonging? How was that for you at that particular time? And you've gone from Japan or backwards forwards from Brazil to Japan, then to Brazil, and then you're in America. You don't speak the language there. So, and obviously you're still juggling with the ethnicity. So where did you feel belonging wise at that time?
Yeah, so this is a complex question because my mom was in an abusive relationship. So
Uh-huh.
that's one of the reasons why she decided to send me, my brother and I, to the US. So I kind of like didn't talk to my mom during the very key time in my life, like 15 to 18. Like I talked to her on the phone, but I didn't see her for like 3 years. And, now my mom and I talk like 3, 4 times a week. And
Yeah.
we're really close. Like she only talks about the cats, but like it's fine. Like we talk a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think so Japan was like cut like from my life. Like I mean, I spoke to my Japanese friends here and there, but like it wasn't that social media wasn't that big. So but I had like a lot of books. Like I would just read Japanese books, but like I was really busy learning English. So I hadn't processed like what was going on. But I think like my mom I didn't go to Japan either from like 15 to 18. So it was like very kind of Japan was on the side.
Right.
And I think like I don't know. I think the belonging issue came about when like I had my own therapy and I went to actually work at Pfizer in Japan after college and grad school at Cornell and then like Rochester did chemistry at Cornell and then I went to Pfizer and I was like, oh, I'm Japanese again and they're really telling me I'm not Japanese.
Right. Did you find it's like the predominant ethnicity changed depending where you were? You go to Japan, you're less Japanese, but then if you go to like America, people go, you're more Japanese.
Yeah. So it's like everywhere
Confusing.
you go. But I
Yeah.
like saying I'm American too. I feel like,
That's
but
pretty
yeah,
easy. That's the easiest one. Because
yeah,
you could be American in any ethnicity. I'm American, that's fine.
yeah. I think like, um, because when I go to Japan with my boyfriend, who's just like Irish white,
Right.
it's like super easy to navigate because we just act American because we are American,
Yeah.
and they were like, oh, they're American. Oh well, they don't know how to do things, and it's like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you get to the point of like, I don't know, accepting yourself? Do you say it was accepting yourself and recognizing who you were, who you become? How did you get to that point?
I think I'm still in the process.
Yeah.
I still in the process of accepting who I am. It helps to have a significant other who loves you for who you are. I
Yeah,
think
of
that's a
course.
magical thing. I've been with him for 8 years, and he likes me whether I wanna eat pizza 4 days a week or wanna eat rice every day, and I think that really helps, and I think my brother has always helped me, and I think my parents just loving me the way I am.
Yeah.
And then just like I'm so obsessed with belonging and being mixed and being half and called half and feeling miserable like that like it has like dominated my brain. And then I forgot to kind of like just have fun for the sake of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think when I got to do that, I felt like I draw
Mhm.
very random things, like a bunch of balls and stuff that are colorful. And I dance. That it has nothing to do with my ethnicity.
Mm.
And I make like crude jokes. Like that's not because I'm Japanese or Brazilian. Like that's because
Who you are as a person.
yeah. And I think like forgetting that for a second, letting myself forget that for a second helps me.
Yeah, 'cause I've spoken to had guests on, similar circumstances to you. I had a lady on recently, Irene, she's brilliant, and I think it's the last couple of episodes, and she is, what's her ethnicity? I think it's Jewish and Puerto Rican, mm, but she was, like, really white and didn't realize that she was mixed until years later, and then just kind of sort of figured things out. And I think from what she remember what she was saying, and I'll bet this with like people I know, they get to a point where they don't want to focus on the ethnicity anymore, and they just become they just accept themselves for who they are. And I've known people that are like mixed race, as in like one parent's black, the other parent's white, and they get to a point instead of trying to figure out who they are or who should I be or what, they just become the best version of their self and just kind of just focus on that because
Yeah, like it gets exhausting. Like every time you meet a person, it's like Brazil, Japan, wow, and I'm just like, I've said that so many times.
yeah,
Ask me what color I like. Like
yeah.
what I do, like what kind of coffee I like. I like Pike at Starbucks. Like, you know?
I'm with you there. Lee, yeah, you've got over 1,000 brothers and sisters. Yeah. Tell us about that. I'm so interested. And your whole night's gone answering the same questions over and over. And it's just so interesting. And what about this? Okay, here's a list. Just read that, So I'll get that.
Give like a card and be like, here you go.
Exactly. Just read that. All the answers are there.
Yeah. And I think like more I see clients and more people I see, like I've been doing therapy, being a therapist for 7 years now. Like everybody has their own story
Yes.
and everybody has their own trauma response and
Always.
everybody has their own self-care. Like if the client tells me like, look, my self-care is taking a bath 5 times a day, like go for it.
Yeah.
Wanna eat like Sour Patch, whatever, like, okay, moderately, but like go for it, just listening to that person instead of like you are this like animal that's different looking. And I'm just like, I think it gets tiring to be interesting like about just that aspect. I'm interesting in other aspects too.
Yeah. Do you find it's mainly from people that don't know you? Whereas everyone that knows you, well, they already know that story. They're kind of not interested. They just like you for you.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And I keep like a close circle, and I think I'm glad people are interested in mixed race issues because, like, of course I am, because I see clients because of that too. But I think, like, how can we make a world where that's not that interesting anymore?
I think, I mean, when it comes to whole race, you're always going to have some level of prejudice, There'll always be there.
Yeah, for
No matter.
sure. Yeah.
But I think in especially in the last, what, 20, 30 years, it's kind of over time, different ethnicities, it's more accepted, it accepted more of the norm. In a good way, nobody really cares. They might show a level of interest, but it's not like back in the civil rights in America. Oh my God, what's going on here? You're in the wrong part of town, something extreme like that. So in a good way, nobody cares. And in a good way, people might show a positive interest in it.
I think like what's interesting for me is like it's so different depending on the country you go to. Like in
I
the
think
US,
so, yeah.
I think in the US, I don't even have to say like my race that much. They look at my last name, they think I'm a Latina.
Yeah.
True. And
Yeah, that
then
do.
I go on with the conversation. But in Japan, like I want to buy like an onigiri, like a rice ball. And they're like, "Oh, your Japanese is so good. Like, where you from?" I was like, Just give me the product." It's very and in Brazil, like, people don't care either. So I think but yeah, I just want everybody to belong.
Yeah, and everyone should be they should be we're designed to belong somewhere, and it can be very lonely, very isolated, very frustrating if you're trying to find your place, if you're trying to find somewhere to belong, you know, and people struggle to do that, and especially if they don't know who they are themselves, they're trying to find out who they are. I get that with clients a lot, so I've had to work with a lot of clients on kind of discovering who they are, who they want to be.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure if it has to be, like, so complicated. Like, do you like this thing or don't like it? Like, kind of like hobbies, I think is so important. And you asked me, like, when did you start accepting yourself? It's like when I start accepting, like, weird looking art. Like,
Yeah.
I draw with crayons, and then I say, "I'm not sure if this is good, but I guess it doesn't matter."
I think it's like for me, I've got my own interests in subjects. I study it to the level of mastery. So, like in the last 6 months, I read about 9, 10 books on JFK assassination,
Oh, is
endless podcasts, documentaries. The only thing I need to do is go to Dallas, which I'll do next year because I have to get to a mastery level there as well. Like my knowledge is in like insanely the tops
Yeah, yeah, that's
there as
amazing.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for years, I studied World War II, War 1. So I've got a knowledge, like, stuff, in specific areas. I've got a good knowledge of Japan, you know, but
Sure.
nobody else that I know, apart from a few nerdy friends, have got that interest. But that's
Um,
just my interest. I kind of don't really care what anyone else thinks about it, or because that's just what I'm interested in. Me buying books, reading lots of books, and other people hitting the town, partying in clubs and stuff. If that's what they want to do, great. It doesn't bother me because I just like what I like. I've always been that way, and kind of probably couldn't change it if I wanted to. So I just do my own thing, and I kind of don't. I've never really worried about anything else.
that's I guess it's a weird feeling listening to you because the feeling that I had listening to you was like, wow, like I'm jealous of Lee. Like he got to just do the things that he wants to do and that he was just being Lee. Because
Yeah.
for me growing up, I would just do the things I would want to do and I would be labeled as weird because I'm half.
Yeah. So the difference is, I mean, yours is probably more cultural, especially like you said, coming from Japan. Whereas if you're wearing different color shoes, my God. Whereas I come from an area which in America you guys would call like the projects. The place I come from is like a terrible place there. So people would do the same sort of things. I was always an individual, probably because where my biological father was very educated, very kind of middle class, well to do. So maybe I had some intelligence genetics there, definitely not on the other side. So I've just always done my own thing, never thought anything of it.
It's
Was
great. That's so good.
yeah, and it's just been very straightforward.
And I think, like, imagine if everybody did that, like, they don't need therapy.
But it's funny because like I before I become a therapist, I worked in sales, and then I used to be a doorman in a nightclub, working on nightclub security, that kind of thing. So people make an assumption of me. They would think that I was just like in the area I was from, probably wasn't intelligent, didn't know anything. The fact that I could speak several languages, the fact that I studied subjects and somebody says something and then I give an answer out and it's like, didn't expect that or whatever there as well. So you kind of had that going on there as well. But it never, I just like, because I've always been like an individual person and just did my own thing. So I never really ever thought about it. I never did anything to be part of the crowd. I was always kind of like enough of my personality to be a part of if I wanted to or not. But I was always wanting to do what I wanted to do. And I never did anything I didn't want to do. Because if it wasn't my thing, it's not my thing. I used to be really into football, you guys call soccer. I've lost all interest in
Oh,
that now. I,
football.
I don't care about that anymore. I do other things. I
Oh
just,
yeah, I think that so yes, like the question answer to your questions come later in the podcast, I guess. But well, that's the process of self acceptance for me, I guess, because I
yeah,
feel insecure. And I guess I didn't say it before, like during my therapy process, like my own therapy, it came out like how insecure I am about being judged and how judgmental I am of other people. And that's because
yeah, yeah,
I I judge them, right? So that kind of stuff came up. And then that's because I've been judged so much
yeah,
and I wish I was more like able to embrace like you. And that's the process I'm in, I guess. But I am
yeah,
doing that too because like I'm have a private practice and all that. But like
yeah. So,
it's very interesting that you're in that phase and it's very nice to see.
yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just kind of like me, and I've never really thought too much about it. So I've not had to, it's not been like my circumstances are different to yours, whereas you've had to like weigh up and it must be very difficult not to feel judged and be judged, whereas mine's completely different. People want to judge me, it's because they might not like me as a person. They might not like the area that I come from is a really
Yeah.
poor area. It's in like the top 5% of poorest areas in the UK. Oh my God, you come from Lee Park. Oh my God, what a dump. The things the subjects that I am interested in or whatever it might be, but I just really care. What do I care about somebody's opinion? To a certain degree, you've got certain people around you that you want them to have a good opinion of you as well. But, you know, the average person in the street that doesn't know me, I always sort of say that opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, so I don't really care.
Oh no, yes, that's true. Yeah, I think that's really amazing. And I think my mom is like kind of like you. She just like doesn't care. And I mean she also has like the dentist thing going on, so it helps. But it's like a journey. Everybody has different journeys. And I think
Of
like
course.
for me, like as a therapist, I wanna provide a space that like we always say, right, like non-judgmental, but
Yeah.
like, I'm not judging you, you don't judge you. Let's figure this out, that you can just do you. And
Yeah.
it takes a long time to get there. I'm 40. Like, in 2 weeks, I'm gonna be 40. I think it just takes a long time that we don't even, like.
It's a journey. As you know, it's a journey, not a destination. And for me, with growing up with abusive parents, diagnosed with CPTSD, no male role model, you go through your life trying to figure out and that's the difference is yours was like a lot of it was on ethnicity. Mine was like, I had no upbringing or anything like that, terrible parents. So I had to figure out who I was along the way. And you're just there and you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s. Well, who am I? What am I meant to be? How am I meant to act? What am I trying to figure things out? And then you get to a point, and being a therapist, having a lot of therapy, it definitely helps. Well, who do I want to be? And that's kind of all I've done. Right? Let's try and be a good person at least. Let's try and, you know, be there to help other people, do the right things as best as you can. Who would you want to be? And so for me, all I've tried to do is as best as I can. Definitely far from perfect. Is work towards to be in the best version of yourself. That's all I can do. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, and I think like this is like always the journey that like my motto, I guess, for my clinic also is like in Japanese language is very sophisticated, and
Yeah.
there's a word called like tenini, which it means like gently in a tender way, and it's like soft touch, and I want that to be the best version of myself because
Mhm.
I think I used to be like like poking and stuff and like to myself, towards myself and maybe towards others as well. And I like choose relationships over my like ego and just trying to make be right and stuff. And I think like that would be always the goal for me. I think it's always gonna be hard. But yeah, I think like with the it's interesting because like you mentioned your journey and my journey, and it's like different but similar.
Yeah, oh yeah. You got like yours is like very cultural. I grew up believing that the people that were meant to be my parents were my parents and they weren't. And then I had to then find out that I had all these brothers and sisters. So you're trying to go, you do get that point where you look in the mirror going, who am I? What am I?
Yeah.
But very quickly, I was like, well, those people are terrible. My biological father, I never knew him. He died 10, 12 years before I even knew he even existed. Okay, well, it's just me. Let's just focus on me being me and work towards who I want to be. So it's very straightforward there because otherwise I'll be there forever trying to figure out something never going to be able to answer. So let's just enjoy
Why are
life.
you so like so strong? Like I'm just gonna be me.
It's probably because I'm
You
probably
do like martial arts or something?
no, it's probably because you're far smarter than me. So I just look at things in really simple terms.
No, that makes you smarter. That makes you smarter. You're
There's,
just
there's,
like, let's go. And I'm just like, okay.
no, there's many things that I'm definitely not smart at, but it's just like, well, it just seems very straightforward to me because you go around in circles and you're never going to come to some sort of conclusion of I'm definitely right. I'm definitely this. I'm definitely right. Okay, we don't want to be. What have I got to work with? Just me as a person. No role models in my life. No upbringing. Okay, so let's learn along the way. Let's surround yourself with good people. Let's do positive things in life. Let's just do the things that make you happy. What do you want to achieve? Where do you want to go? I like traveling. Well, let's go traveling. So I've just kind of built the things that I like while at the same time overcoming and trying to deal with your trauma there. Life's hard as it is, but let's try and make the most of it as best as you can. I'm making it sound super positive. Every day is like hard work and stuff, but keep on going because good things do come along. That's just kind of the way I've done it. And for me, if I can enjoy life as best I can and try and be the person that you,
No, I think it's interesting because like I see clients from like Asia and
yeah,
they struggle with just like the word joy and enjoy and like fun because like growing I don't know, like it's really hard to say out loud sometimes. It's like I'm just gonna enjoy my life. Cause like if you read all these Japanese novels, that was my role model, I guess. I don't even know. They're
huh?
like miserable the entire life.
Yeah,
And, like, so it's like, well, like, I guess you learn in misery and, like, life is suffering, like Buddha said that, like, so you just kinda so, like, that I love that about, like, Western white culture in a way. Enjoy. And Brazil is like that too, like, when you go to Brazil, everybody's just very
it's
enjoy.
like, look, life's short. Life's over
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
flash.
totally.
Yeah, I mean, even if you live to be 100, it still flies by. It still goes quick. You never know how long you've got. I've got friends that were killed at 18 in a car accident or something like that. You just never know. Life isn't easy. Life's hard. There's always things coming your way. Try not to be miserable. There's a lot of fun things out there. Try and make the most of your life. Do the things that you want to do.
That's true.
Always have some. For me, one of the things that's helped me overcome like trauma is always to have things to look forward to, things to book in a diary. January is like the worst month in the UK. It's dark, it's cold, it's just raining, it's just miserable, right? Depression is
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
is hard for most people to kind of just get through a January. So for me, I'm like, right, let's get things booked in front of me. Like yesterday, I've just booked a trip. I'm going to go to Poland for a couple of days. I'm going to go to Prague in Czech Republic for a couple of days to have
Nice.
a break, something to look forward to. So even if you're going through a tough time, if you got something to look forward to, positive,
Yeah.
great.
I'm
Even if
actually
it's
going to
small.
Japan in February, so I'm excited about that, yeah. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to we all have different strength, and I think, like, it's really nice to find yours. And I think, like, it's also weird because my strength is, like, being able to contemplate for a long time. Like, I actually, like, think I'm not like, my career looks good on my paper or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
because, like, for chemistry, I mean, in college, I just studied and studied and studied until like no end. I had like the best time just figuring things out. Is it this? Where's the electron? Is it there? No, it's never there because we never know where the electron is. It's like, and I was just like, I love not knowing things.
Yeah, me too.
And it's like fun, but also like, is it that enjoyable? Like not so much sometimes, you know?
It's for me like trying to master a subject. Have to buy like with the say for example, the JFK. I really wanted to be an expert on it, so I literally got all of the books, the real relevant books, the most important books there is there, and I worked my way through it. And by the end, I was starting to read one book, and I know all of this now. I know all of that. And for certain subjects, I'm like, there's no point me getting these books because I've already read that in this book here. And then you're finding yourself that instead of like diving into a subject you don't know anything about, which is a lot of fun, oh my God, I'm learning so much. You get into a level in a subject where you're fine tuning it. You're looking for a particular structure somewhere, something slightly, and there's no point getting these books. You need this particular one, but just that one. And even then, just read selective chapters. You're like, oh, okay, it's a good thing, but it's frustrating at the same time.
You
Uh,
need to go pull it into yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, with yourself though, now as a therapist, where do you see yourself in the future? Whether it's with yourself personally or career wise, because it sounds like you're doing quite a lot.
Well, I have my private practice now, so like I want to expand that for sure. But I also want to. It's actually very hard to find research on biracial population and mental health. So, and I'm not gonna be a researcher because like I like my work, but
Yeah.
like what I what I want to do, and I actually found this out through EMDR because I was like, and I was like, "Okay, what do I not wanna do?" Is I want to, like, make a community where people can find resources about being mixed race and, like, chat about it or, like, talk about it and, like, be appreciated about it. It's just, like, to bring awareness and also, like, just to have a place that the people can go to. Like, that would be my ultimate goal. Because in Japan, like, 2% of the population are half like biracial people. And if I felt like this in Japan, where 97% of people are like homogeneous, like they must, and there are YouTube videos and stuff like that, but there's no like one place that you can go to that you can
Yeah.
just kind of like, and it's research showing that people who have like biracial or mixed race background, they suffer more like with mental health. So there's data there. And even little things like, when you do a census and you have to choose your race, that brings you distress. That brings me distress. I never
I,
know which one to choose.
I had this conversation with the lady on the podcast because her ethnicity was white, but it wasn't Latino or anything like that. So she was like, white other. That was it.
And
She
you're like,
found
which
it
one is
useful.
the other? But I think like personally, I just want to be more like you actually. I want to just be like, I'm gonna go have fun. I'm gonna
Just,
do
just, just,
more
just,
fun,
just go and have fun. There you go.
relax.
Just go
Yeah.
and have fun. So,
Like, just like maybe I can ski outside. It's snowed a lot here this weekend. So yeah, I think like I want to be have that contrast in my life, like focused and then like let it out
yeah.
because I've been very focused.
Yeah, and for
Yeah.
me, it's like being a therapist and all the things of everyday life. I work really hard. I put the hours in. It's mentally draining, as you know. It's exhausting there, and some people can't switch off. I get to a point where I'm like, I am done. That's me done. I'm switching off, and I'm just going to enjoy myself now. I've worked through the week. I want a break. One, you need it to mentally recharge to get your energy for the following week or whatever, or I take breaks. So, like, one of the reasons I'll book a few days away is to have that break there as well. But
Yeah.
when I've got that break, I'm gonna go and enjoy myself and make the most of it there, and then get
Yeah.
back to work whenever, and then get back to focusing on that. But when I'm done, I switch off. Let's make the most of it. Let's enjoy it. So I'm putting everything to one side, parking it, put it to one side, and focus on and being in the here and now, in the present. It's all we got. There's no past. There's no future. Just now. Let's make the most of it. For me in the past, too busy thinking about the past, too busy thinking about the future, not enjoying the right now. So I always try and
Yeah. And I
maximize
think
that.
like that doesn't make me a bad therapist because I'm not thinking about work all the time. There's
No,
no answer to like trauma. There's so much you can learn. So much you can learn about so many things. But like I'm just gonna draw my balls and just like call it a day. Yeah, I learned a lot from you. This is a podcast, but I learned from you. It was really nice.
It's good. It's good. I'm glad you enjoyed coming on to your first podcast.
Yes, yes, it's really great.
Julia, it's been brilliant having you on. So interesting. I love your story. I love everything about having you on there and having a conversation with you. Thank you so
Oh,
much for coming on.
thank you.
Thank you.